Is that an apple?
Big time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I like about apples. You know where you are with them, much like bananas. You know, you can see what they look like on the outside, and you go, "Yeah, I've got a pretty solid idea of what that's going to be like."
Yeah.
But there's some fruits that aren't always like that. Satsumas, tangerines, that kind of genre. You know, they might look great. You open them, and they can be a bit bitter or sour or dry, or But I think there's a different tier hierarchy of fruits. Some pretty much always great. Some I've had a bad. Can't think of any others. I mean, I don't really eat that much variety of fruit, clearly, but it's the same with veg, I'd imagine.
Good. Well, that's that wrapped up. Welcome to episode 4 of Drum and Drummer.
Is it?
With me, Ben.
And me, George. I thought we were going to go somewhere with the whole fruit thing, but
no, just letting you talk about fruit. Yeah. Just seeing what your thoughts are.
I've still got a bit more of this. Like, this is like ASMR now,
Yeah.
Eating an apple. Should I let you? Anything new in your week? Drum related?
No, not really. I haven't done any drumming this week, but I have been recording some other bands at the studio, which has been good. And I've actually done some more work on my band's EP.
Let's hear about that.
Yeah. So this is a band started kind of during lockdown, called The Dent Act. And actually, before COVID, I got asked by a friend of mine to play drums on a few of his songs, which I did, and they're really good. And then COVID came along, and over lockdown, we were like, yeah, let's turn this into a band. I was up for doing it. And then we got a mate, Oxy Boy, on bass. And then Mike wrote some songs during lockdown, and we started demoing them remotely. And then it was actually last Christmas, I recorded the drums for it. And then the year's just been mental since then. And so we're finally getting around to tracking the rest of it. And Mike came in the other day, and we've started getting the guitars tracked. Got some of the bass tracked. Ox is coming in December to finish that. So I like to get this EP at least tracked before the end of the year.
Fantastic.
And do something with that. So that's quite nice, isn't it, when you start to make progress on one of your,
do something creative.
That's off your own steam and volition. Rather than paid work, which is also good. I actually got asked to do some session drumming on some stuff. And it was interesting having to think about pricing, and maybe that's something we should talk about one day.
Think so.
Rates and fees and the exchange of money for services, because that's always quite good when you get paid to play drums. That's always a nice thing.
Yeah, definitely, especially a recording session, because it feels like a different animal almost. Gigs are one thing, but recording, it's
in general, I think I prefer recording
to gigs.
I think I prefer playing drums in the studio than I do on stage.
Fair enough.
I like the fact that you kind of work out what you're going to do, and you execute that, and to the best of your ability, and then that will forever be cemented in time as a tangible thing
Yeah.
that you could look back on. And gigs are obviously like fleeing moments of time.
Mm.
And I do enjoy gigging, don't get me wrong, depending on
Mm.
the gig. I just don't want to go to Newquay anytime soon. And that can be fun, but I think it's a very different sort of experience and a very different process and a different thing. And I'd say overall, I prefer the studio experience.
Have you always preferred it, or is this a new?
I was definitely always fascinated by it when I was younger, mainly from going like, oh, my drums sound like shit. How do these drums on these records sound so good?
Yeah.
And I guess I set about a journey of being like, how do I emulate that?
Yeah.
How do I end up with a record that sounds like these top these top bands done by these top studios, top engineers? Like, how do I get from my skill set and my shitty first drum kit, how do I get to there? And 25 years later, still working on it, but closer. I think I'm closer.
Definitely. Well,
but
should we delve into it? I mean, what was your first recording experience? Let's delve into it now.
I think I first going into a studio was with one of my old bands called 3 Day Bender. So it's a great name.
Very good name. How are you spelling Bender?
With an A.
Nice.
With an A. I joined this band when I started sixth form, initially on trombone. Jamie, the sax player, came up to me on basically the first day of sixth form and went, "You play trombone?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you want to join a band?" I said, "Yeah." So I joined 3 Day Bender. The next day, 9/11.
Yeah. Could you tell me that story again? That was no, sorry.
The next day, 9/11 happened, which is unrelated. Right. That's unrelated to me joining 3 Day Bender. And so I played trombone for a bit, and then they kicked the drummer out, and I asked for an opportunity to play drums. They were reluctant. But
did they kick him out because of 9/11, or
no? Again, unrelated. He wasn't. He wasn't involved.
No.
To the best of my knowledge,
no.
The old original drummer of 3 Day Bender had nothing to do with 9/11.
Good.
Eventually, then I started playing drums, and we went to a studio, and we went to one sort of Cosham Way, just outside Portsmouth, and it was kind of classic. It was like 2002. Old man had a shed with some reel-to-reel recording gear, and it was a step up from anything else, i.e. a tape machine in your bedroom. This guy had microphones, and it was in this kind of converted shed thing. I didn't really have a clue what was going on.
Yeah,
kind of like just it was all very. We've got 2 days to get 5 songs, I think, tracked and mixed, which is mental, obviously, but budget. And the one thing I kind of remember really was just, recording the drums. And one of the songs, I just did it in one take. And it was like, yeah, that's fine. Don't need to do it again. But I had no, I took in the drum kit I had. Yeah. That's what it probably wasn't tuned very well. Yeah. It was a Pearl Export ELX Select in teal blue. I loved that drum kit. Saved up all my pocket money, and I bought it when I was about 15, 16.
Which drum kit was that? Was that the second drum kit?
That was my second drum kit, yeah.
As we found out, you've had a few.
Yeah. I counted. I'm on my 5th. I think I'm on my 5th drum kit. So this was kit 2, a teal blue Pearl ELX Export ELX Select. I bought it brand new, and the color was gorgeous. And that was my first kind of proper kit. And no real perception of like, oh, how does a snare sound in the studio?
Yeah.
It was just like, cool, play the song. I played it.
Yeah.
Cool, done. But there's a funny story about that weekend, actually, I think. So yeah, we stayed at our singer's house. That we did 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. We stayed at our singer's house that Saturday night. Because it made sense. And it was May time, so probably May 2002, and it was Eurovision. And our singer liked to partake in a little bit of the weed. So he'd made some he'd put some a little bit of herb into some brownies. Nice. And so we most of us stayed in his room, and we had these brownies and watched Eurovision. And I don't know what we were laughing about, but I've never laughed so hard about anything in my life. We had an amazing time.
Yeah.
And the next morning, so I've been told, I came down and the singer's mum was like, "Are you all right, Ben?" Yes, Mrs. McKeever, I'm fine, thank you. Having just had my first experience with the herb brownies. And then went and finished recording. I'm trying to remember if there's. I remember one thing where we wanted a vocal effect on the intro to one of the songs, and he said, "Yeah, I can do that, but once I do it, I can't take it off again." And it's like, I think it's just a, hark back to, committing to tape. Yeah. And, I'd love to go back now and revisit it and just see what was actually going on. And, because now I own and run a recording studio, things are a little bit different to back then. But play some songs in this shed and got high and watched Eurovision.
Amazing.
Good weekend, actually. Great weekend.
No, it sounds like a brilliant weekend.
Great weekend. What about yourself, Georgie boy? Georgie, tell me your story. Oh, I might keep doing that.
Is that the jingle?
Georgie, tell me your story.
Anyone for you? Benny, Wenny, something else. I was trying to think of a pun. Just leave it quiet now.
Yeah.
Well, we all accept that I didn't think of a rhyme.
Yeah.
First recording, it was.
Which band was this?
The Underdogs.
The Underdogs.
Which were my teenage adolescent band. We recorded at the Havant Arts Centre, where I did my first gig. A lot happened there, It was actually with Ox, your bassist to the Dentact, for the Dentact.
He engineered it?
Yeah, he engineered it.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I think it was him. Or the first one anyway. But I think I can't even really remember what we recorded, because I think we did a couple of sessions and there was only one song that we actually liked out of them. But I know he definitely did the first one. But yeah, it was just chaos in terms of there was no click track. There was no real structure to the song. I don't think we'd actually completed the song. And I think we did a song called Losing My Mind, which was kind of like a kind of slow, bluesy sort of number. But I remember the thing about it was it ended with me trying to do some triplets. And the idea would be like, we just get faster and faster with the triplets while the guitarist would like slide up the fretboard.
Yeah. So it's like kind of a musical representation of one losing their mind.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
And
say what you see.
So I'm doing that. And the guitarist is going like that. And then it just ended. So there was no way to, keep that in time or quantize it, or there was no. I think we just recorded it and then went, because I think our thing was we had 3 hours, but in those 3 hours it was like to do everything. So set up the drum kit, mic the drum kit, record it once quickly, and then mix it. And but I remember
And let me tell you, you're gonna get
Yeah.
quality.
Well, this is it. It's not going to sound rushed at all. And but I think when we did it, yeah, it was so quick that the first time we recorded, I don't know if it was Ox that did this, maybe it was the second time, they bounced it down and they only put in the backing vocals. And we were really excited. We got our CD. Here's the CD, lads. Go and listen to it. And then there was nothing for 2 minutes. And then we just hear, ooh, la, 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 ooh, la, la. And we're like, wait, what's this? This isn't the song. And basically, they bounced the wrong thing.
I remember that feeling, especially with, you know, first visits to the studio, just how exciting it was.
Oh, yeah.
I was so excited. I was so buzzing for it. You know, for quite a few years I was like, every time 3 Day Bender would go and record, I looked so forward to. We were really well rehearsed, written. There's still been the odd thing in the studio, but I just look forward to that weekend. Like, so much, going with your band and your friends to go and put your songs down, you know, on record, and just it kind of gave you an excuse to just, you know, there'd be banter all day, and you'd go and get a Mackie D's for lunch, and usually then all hang out that evening as well, and like get a takeaway or go out for a meal. Or it was such like an event, and in a way made me feel special. Yeah, like I'm in a band, and I'm like, you know, this is what I wanted to do when I first started playing drums. Is I wanted to be in a band, and I wanted to, you know, do all those things that being in a band involves, and going to the studio and then working your way up, and you go to a better studio, you know, and it's all such a learning curve. And looking back, it's like, you know, we got so many things wrong, but that feeling of going to record your band was so good. I absolutely loved it.
And it's the lead up to it, you know. It's like rehearsing for that eventual recording session, and even at
that time, you know, that time, like early noughties, even, and that hearing yourself back, but quality, you know, was really rare. Like, it wasn't, you just didn't have it. No one had the facilities really to do that sort of stuff. Fuck off. To have that sort of stuff at home, you know, so that was your only chance. Like, or maybe someone taped your gig with a shitty old camcorder, which would just sound dog shit. You got a chance to hear your songs, you know, in the recorded format. I just absolutely loved it. And now I'm fucking dead inside. Oh.
I was going to say, this is the most sprightly I've heard you talk about recording in a while. But no, but that's what I like about, because obviously I've, you know, worked at your recording studio, and it's you see it when bands come in. They're excited, especially if they do in a couple of days, and it's like, you know, even just what food you bring, what food and drink, and ordering a pizza or something. It's a chance
to like, it's a real like escape from reality, and a chance to like, fuck having a healthy lunch.
Yeah. Well, especially if you go, I with a band I was in once, we recorded at this place about 10, maybe 5 miles outside of Brighton, but it was, it felt really remote. Like, to get there, it was confusing. And then once we were there, it was just like a farm, and there was just fields all around us. And we didn't stay there, but when we were there in the day, because I think we did Friday till Sunday to do an album, which was just insane. And I think,
was this was this the Underdogs?
No, this was a band I was in called Treasure, and it just felt very much like 4 lads just kind of like holiday away.
It feels like you're living a dream, like you're living your dream, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's it. You're kind of going, this is what all my favorite bands have done, you know, when you see the documentaries.
I'm a step closer to being, I'm like stepping into the shoes of experiencing that world.
Definitely. And I think that's why a lot of bands want to record at places where, you know, there's so many bands I know, you know, that will go to Abbey Road just because, you know, think about how many bands have done an Abbey Road session because of
my
the
top
Beatles,
tip.
and it's that thing.
Don't go to Abbey Road. Come to the Old Blacksmiths. The Old Blacksmith Studios. Come and work with me, and we'll put your dreams in the bin together.
That is the
check
slogan.
out oldblacksmiths.com. There you go.
There you go.
Quality recording
Amazing.
in Portsmouth, here on the South Coast. Come
That
to
was
Portsmouth.
such a oxymoron of a advertisement for your business there. It was terrible and then great.
Yep.
So, but it is.
But actually, so that first 3-day bender recording, I've still got it. I've still got the CD. I think I have a CD of it, you know. It's dog shit.
Fair.
It's absolutely dog shit.
Mm.
But there's a charm to it. Because I remember the experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I still like listening to. The only one we got from the Havant Arts Centre that we liked was a song called "Oh Maybe," and I remember it starts with a kick drum, and I still remember this. Even I think there was like 8 kicks, and then the bass comes in, and one of the kicks, I managed to do it in 2 bars. One was way out. It was literally like da 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 like that, and I hated it. I was like, oh no, we need to like get that in time. And I don't know if they didn't have because I sort of knew by that point that you could do that. You could put stuff to the grid, and you know, but we just didn't. And I'd always listen to it and go, oh, I hate that, but there is a charm to it because we did it to a click, that one, but it did stray out of time from the click, but then it came back in. But it was all these little, but that's what I liked about it, you know. And at the end, there was like, I think I might have dropped my sticks or something happened, like all these little things that kept in. But I loved all that because it was like, you know, when you listen to like a band's first album and there's all different things going on, like someone will cough, or like before a song starts, or like someone will drop a stick at the end. And it was probably a terrible recording, but it's for 15-year-old lads doing this, you know.
And what I quite like is the fact that, you know, the majority of stuff you've still got it, you know.
Yeah.
But even no matter how bad it is, it's still there, and you can still look back at it. Whereas the gigs are usually just memories.
Well, that's going back to it. That's what
these are memories on CD.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, yeah, that was shit, wasn't it? But
that is true. It's there forever. Whatever you did,
forever, for good or for bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure we'll talk more about recording, you know, in today's age, and our experiences doing that and stuff at some point. Let's take a little break. See you in a bit.
Such an abrupt end. Take a little break. Okay, bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye.
And we're back.
Drum
and Drummer.
Welcome to the second half of Drum and Drummer, episode 4. I think we're on episode 4. Georgie boy, talk to me about what you've been doing this week. You've been drumming at all?
Drumming wise, I have actually. I actually bought an electronic kit.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone's earning.
Well, it's one of those things. I think unless you have one, you know, and you don't really need one that much, you know, it's like, it's great to practice on, but it can be expensive. And sometimes you'll have to do a gig on electric kit. But yeah, it is quite an investment, but it's all for my new business. Seeing as we're plugging things today, Drum Coach Online. That's the new name.
.com.
Depends what platform. At Drum Coach Online for Instagram.
At what? He's Drum Coach.
Drum Coach Online.
Drum Coach, yeah.
I did. Let's should we begin this podcast again? No.
Keep it in.
Drumcoachonline.com. Basically an online teaching place. because I've been a drum teacher. I'll just quickly talk about
Do
this.
it.
I've been a drum teacher for 3 or 4 years. Moved from Portsmouth, where I was teaching, to Brighton, and I thought about looking for a new place to teach because I do enjoy teaching. It is great, but I thought, well, do you know what?
Well, that's a lie. So, nah, you love it.
I
Bloody
do. Well,
loves teaching.
there's a lot of parts I enjoy, but there's some parts that are just, I think, for any drum teacher, any music teacher, it's just, it can
Any
get
job.
tiresome. Yeah, whatever job you've got, it's going to get annoying in parts of it. So I thought, well, everything's going online thanks to COVID, and we may have another lockdown, probably not, but I thought, well, surely I can teach drums online. So this is a new plan. And I've taught a few lessons online before, but I never had an electronic drum kit, and it's just, that's what you need. You need one. So I've been playing one the past week, and it's great. It's nice to practice while you're in your own flat and not have to worry about noise, really.
Yeah. Handy for keeping the noise down.
Very handy.
The old
for that.
electric kit.
It is, because
What have you got?
Then,
what you got?
Well, I've got an Alesis, kind of. The Alesis kit is like the sort of, the main part of it, but I added, thanks to you, let's be honest, it was your idea.
I mean, I wasn't fishing, but sure. Sure.
A snare pad that's separate from that kit, and a hi-hat.
Just a snare, it's the big beefy Roland one, isn't it?
Well, it is big beefy. It is the V drum Roland. I've already forgot. And the hi-hat is one that goes on a stand, because as we know, when you play an electronic drum kit, it's often that the hi-hat stand it's not connected, so it's nice to have that. But it's great. I mean, it does the job. I haven't really tried all the different sounds yet, but it works, and it feels like a drum kit. And it's just, I'll tell you the best thing, it will be used for drumcoachonline.com, but it's just great to be able to have something to practice there, because
it's the Roland PDA 120 LS-BK snare pad. Just looked it up for you.
Thank you. I mean,
Welcome.
There was no way I was going to remember all of that.
No.
The hi-hat is an equally long name. I remember it's V11 something.
Yeah.
But it's all great. But the best part is, up until now, if I wanted to practice, I go to the studio and set up a kit and practice. But now there's literally no excuses. There's a kit right there at all times. And it's great. But that's what I've been doing drum wise. Getting everything set up for the new online drum
ready
business.
for drumcoachonline.com.
Exactly.
One-to-one lessons. There's going to be
your
downloadable teaching packs.
Teaching
all sorts
packs.
of stuff, isn't it?
This is it. It's because it is
just your online, your all-in-one online drum learning hub.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm
looking forward to
it about it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Blacksmiths.com for all your recording needs.
See what else we can plug.
So from mesh skins to real skins.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
What was it? I swear you had something else on the last. You did another good segue earlier.
I'm just full of them. Full of good segues.
Last week's episode, I can't remember, but it was very good. From that to this.
Yeah. Skins, George. I'm going to tell you now, they're bloody important.
They are.
They're bloody important to your drum kit. Do not underestimate how crucial your skins are on your drums.
No.
Because our sparkly kits, sure, they look good.
Yeah.
But we want them to sound good.
We do.
And we got decent shells, sure.
Mm.
But it's all about the skin, baby.
It
Get
is.
those skins
something we've mentioned it before, but this is overlooked as an adolescent because we briefly talked about cymbals in, I can't remember what episode, episode 1 or 2. It's all a haze now. We're on episode 4. Who knows what's going on anymore?
This is like one of the longest running podcasts of all time.
Exactly. But yeah, when you starting playing drums, cymbals, you feel like cymbals are the main thing. Oh, I've got to get this new Zildjian Crash Ride, and skins can get forgotten about.
China, please.
Yeah.
Oh, and a splash.
In that.
And I got to have 3 crashes.
Exactly.
And all that.
But
yeah,
skins are forgotten about. Particularly, I'd say tom skins. I think snare skin you might replace a bit, but I know for a fact, growing up, I didn't do my tom skins for ages.
No.
They get dented. And you go, it's all right. You can still hit them. Let's buy a new crash,
Well, it's I think because buying, like a lot of things with drums, it does cost quite a lot of money to just maintain a standard of quality.
Definitely.
Not to improve the quality, but to maintain. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a guitarist, you got your guitar and your amp, sure. Buy a pedal. Ooh, this does all this new shit.
Yeah.
For 70 quid. And then you're like, and you keep adding pedals. But like, you don't really have to replace that much regularly.
No, there's strings.
Sure. But a pack of strings is cheaper than a pair of sticks. Fact, look it up. Yeah. Whereas to replace your skins on your kit, your whole kit, just the tops, just the batter heads, you're looking at, I mean, snare and a couple of toms, you're looking at, 40 quid, 40, 50 quid.
Yeah. Oh,
Kick drum. Yeah, pop that in. You could be looking at a fat ton just to replace your skins.
Yeah.
And those skins will just get you back to the level you were at.
Yeah.
In terms of quality. So it's kind of maintenance. So it feels like it's a bit of a harsh spend. Because you're like, well, this isn't making it is making your drums better because they're going to sound better than old skins. But you're just getting your kit back up to a level where it sounds as good as it can. And it will just be a constant cycle. The skins get worn. You got to just replace them. You're not putting on a new skin and going, oh, now it can do reverb. It ain't like that.
No.
So, when you're younger, you go for adding cymbals and adding extra things. Skins don't. They get moved down the pecking order because no one goes, oh, what would you like for Christmas, Ben? Oh, can I just replace my drum skins, please? No. A, first of all, I want Mortal Kombat for the Master System. B, Pro Action Football. C, a new cymbal.
Yeah.
An extra cymbal.
Yeah.
I'm not going, oh, can I get another floor tom skin, please? It's not happening, is it?
No.
But they are crucial. I heard somewhere that the skins amount for about 70% of your drum's sound quality. What do you think of that, George?
I believe that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, imagine you're playing a gig and you're playing a beat and it's kick.
What sort of beat?
Hi-hat. Just a simple beat. Think of how familiar are you with Arctic Monkeys' AM album?
Not as familiar as you.
So basically that was very kind of drum heavy. Like you almost couldn't hear the cymbals on those beats. It was so like kick, snare, and there's like a little bit of hi-hat but barely. But that's the perfect example of where it's like, of that sound, hi-hat was 4%. You know what I mean? He was tapping it compared to the way he was hitting kick and snare. If but that's kind of what you meant.
No, I don't think it is what I meant. Not like the sound of your drums.
Right.
Like, so take your tom, just your tom.
Yeah.
And you've got a quality scale of how good is this tom. 30% is what the wood is, the quality of craftsmanship
Oh, I got
of the
you.
drum.
Right,
You know,
right.
how good the rim is and the lugs and its construction. You know, a percentage is obviously assigned to the player hitting the drum, but 70% of that sound quality of that
I
drum
see.
is attributed to
Ah,
the skin.
got it, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. I thought you
Yeah.
meant
So
the whole
like
kit,
it's such
obviously.
a big percentage of your sound quality of your individual drums that
Yeah,
it should be a top priority to make sure your
yeah.
skins are tip top.
No, definitely.
Tip
Definitely.
top and fresh,
Well,
ready
that's
to
good to
go.
know in terms of, if you don't feel you have the best drum kit, if you've got a good skin and
Yeah,
tune it well,
it will get you a lot of the way there.
Yeah,
And I think
definitely.
tuning as well, that's something that I didn't really I think, find my form in till kind of quite a few years into drumming. Sort of maybe like 10 years into drumming, where I really found like, I think I can now tune a kit and make it sound good.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is knowing what you kind of want from it.
Yeah.
But then as well, I think a lot of that came because I was really interested in drum kits on recordings and my
Yeah.
drum kit on being recorded.
Mm.
And it's all about, a lot of recording, it's all about the source material. If it sounds shit, it doesn't matter what mic you put up in front of it. It sounds shit, but you
Yeah.
can get the best source material.
Definitely.
So I'd be like, well, how do I get that? Well, I want my drum kit to sound as good as it can.
Yeah.
And a lot of that coming from the skin and the tuning. And then I think that, there's lots of different ways of sort of doing it, but like that, the drum like has its own natural pitch. And you shouldn't really deviate too much from the pitch. And if it's the wrong pitch, then you should use another drum. And things like that. And then also the resonance skin, incredibly important as well. And that is even lower down on the list. The amount of people who bring in a drum kit and the bottom underskin is the sort of the factory default skin that comes with it, where it's like, Mapex have teamed up with Yamaha or something, and then they just bust out these utter pieces of shit bottom skins. So it's got the brand names on, but ultimately they're just dog shit. And here's a little tip I learned, which I've passed on to you, that I think helped me a lot with my drum sound, especially on toms, getting a nice big fat tom sound that doesn't ring on for days. It's so yeah, I use the Evans G2 Clear.
Yeah.
I get on that skin. I get on with it very well. Put the same skin on the bottom. What? Yeah. That's mental. A little tip that was taught to me, and I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely given me that fat rock tom sound.
Definitely.
Yeah, G2 Clears, top and bottom, baby.
Yeah.
And we did that on your kit as well.
I was going to say that's obviously what I've gone for as well. And speaking of making sure a kit doesn't ring out forever, that's kind of going back to when we talked about first drum kits, because that's why they ring out. For it's like there's no tuning and there's no dampening. I remember learning about that for gigs, especially when it's it's mic'd up and you really want the sound to be not dead. So I won't say dead, but you don't want those toms to ring any longer than they need to, and that's why there's all different ways of,
O-rings on moon gel. O-rings on moon gel.
Amazing. O-rings, obviously, on the toms and the snare, actually. But
I've fluttered between the two several times. I've been like, O-rings, baby.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, moon gel, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, O-rings. And currently, I'm on the O-rings. I'm on the O-rings. But I think a lot of what's helped is actually having those same, double ply G2s on the bottom of the skin does a lot of the work for you. And then sometimes a little bit of masking tape just on the
Yeah.
bottom skin, just takes a little bit of that woomph out. Snare, this is interesting. It's not interesting at all, but so my Cherry Bomb, I've got an O-ring on it, but it's like a thin O-ring in terms of the edge of the disc. It's not in terms of like the thickness of the plastic.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
The actual the ring itself is quite a thin ring.
Yeah.
And I was using that for quite a while, which is great. And then I put a new skin on a few months ago. And I was trying out a slightly different skin. I was using Ambassador X's for the snare. And then I did change to an Evans. I can't remember exactly which one. It might be a G1. And what that did was actually, I think the G1 is slightly thicker. It took a bit of the natural ring out. And so when I did some recording for a band called I'm No Chessman, go and check out Tidal Waves. It's out now, and you can hear me on drums. It's very good. And that's actually Mike, who's the singer-guitarist in the Dent Act as well. That's his other band. Go check Tidal Waves out. Okay? Have you checked it out?
Lovely.
Thank you very much. Yes, it is very good. Thank you. So actually, we found in this
Drum and Drummer podcast. Let us know what you think.
We found in the studio that because of that slightly thicker skin, the O-ring was actually killing it too much. And we still wanted quite a lot of life. So actually, for that recording, it was just one piece of moon gel.
Nice.
And because it had a slightly thicker skin, it still kept the. And Neil's done an amazing. Neil, he works here at the studio. He's done an amazing job. That snare drum sounds fucking massive. Go and check it out. Maybe I'll speak to Mike and I'll try and put it on the end of this episode.
Do it.
See if I can play a bit of the song. If not, we'll put a link to Tidal Waves by I'm No Chessman in the podcast description. You can go and have a listen. And that's what my drum kit sounds as of. That was September.
Nice.
October.
So very
this
recently.
year. Yeah, really. One of my most recent things as well. Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. Because you want to get rid of some of that ring, but as you found out, you don't want to go too far.
Yeah, it was killing it a bit too much, and I think like a lot of things, isn't it? You got to be flexible. I tell you what, kick skin. I swear by this, Georgie boy. I swear by the Evans EMAD 2.
Yeah, I know you do. With the pre, what's it called? The kick thing. The almost like the sticker you get, not sticker, but
doesn't come with them.
No.
But then I buy
something we add on. Yeah.
Yeah, I added on. It's the Evans EQ patch. So I get the one for double kick pedal because I use double kick. Yeah. That on the EMAD 2, and then you've got those like interchangeable foam rings. There's like a thick one and a thin one. I think I'm using the thin one at the moment. That skin with the EQ patch, plastic beater, lovely.
Yeah.
Big old fat kick drum. And your kick drum sounds ridiculous with that skin
it's
on.
Amazing.
Your fucking absolute monster kick. Because yours is 2222, isn't it?
22.
So I think mine's 2220. And yours has just got an incredible thunderous sound.
Even when it's not mic'd up, because that's another thing talking about. I don't know how much we've talked about it before, but when you play a gig, I think I spoke about it when you play your first gig and you play your kit as it is, and then you mic up the kick and then you hear it and you're like, wow, this is so much different. But with that, you hit it in a nice room. It sounds amazing before you even turn the PA on. It's great.
Monster kick drum.
Yeah.
And then my other little tip for dampening the kick drum with that skin is a single pillow.
Yeah.
But my magic tip of the week is the pillow should be duck down and feather. Duck down and feather, boy.
Well, what was the other thing? You've said before, like if you have it in a different direction.
Yeah. So don't have the pillow. If you're sat at your drum kit, don't have the pillow horizontal. So it, the main length of the pillow follows the shell.
Yeah.
Put it end to end. So actually, the pillow is touching the front skin and the back skin, like is touching both skins. And actually, especially with my trick is the duck down and feather, is it's one of those pillows you sort of punch it and it stays punched.
Yeah,
it's not like a foam one that just springs instantly back. And I think it's like a lot denser, just the pillow itself. But then it actually is a bit more malleable, that you can kind of position it and it will kind of stay where it is. You know, if you push it down, it won't just spring back. So you can get that nice positioning. And if you're kind of clamping it between the two skins, and then you can just slightly change how much of each end you want touching the skin.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of leeway. For me, that's my top tip for kick drum.
That is a good top tip.
Setting up. I'll tell you what I did love when I was younger though. I loved Aquarian kick skins.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Aquarian?
Yeah.
Aquarian, was it called like the Aquarian Super Kick 2 or something?
Yeah.
I just think they looked awesome. And I had one on my Pearl Export ELX Select. But email
this
2,
is
baby.
Thing. Snare skins, growing up particularly, it's kind of the same with cymbals and sticks. It was constantly like every time I bought a snare skin, I'd buy a different one with no, I mean, I can't remember what brand it is, but it has like the kind of hierarchy of like, this is better for metal and this is better for, it'd be like soft or hard. Like it just says what the skin is good for. If it has a good attack or not a good attack.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't even really look at them. I just went, well, I haven't tried this one before. And they're all different names. And this one's got little holes around the edge. I'll try this one, And I remember I used to like that. But the thing was, I never really knew the difference. It's sort of because I'd try it and I'd already forgot what the old one sounded like. But I think we've said it before. Now it's sort of like what's good, so you almost don't want to risk it, but you do it at the same time.
I think it's good to try out some different things, especially with the snare. Like I'd always used for quite a while. I've got a Pearl Masters snare, which is lovely. It's white with black lugs and rims. Delicious. And for a lot of the time I was using like the Evans SD Dry or the HD Dry.
Yeah.
When I got the Cherry Bomb, it came with a Remo Ambassador X. And the reason I bought the snare is because of how it sounded, in the shop with that skin. So I was like, I don't want to change that. I don't want to now stick an SD Dry on. Like, I want to keep why I bought the snare. And actually I kept replacing it with an Ambassador X. But last time I went to the shop to reskin it, they'd run out. So I was told that I think it's the G1 was like pretty damn close to the Ambassador X. So and that's then we found out actually it does kill it maybe a little bit more of the ring, but swapping just to one Moon Gel sort that out, especially in the shit live. Don't matter. I still use the O-ring. But I think when you're replacing skins, like to take a punt on something different, it's like buying underpants, isn't it? No returns, baby.
No,
you can't get a skin and then hit it a few times and then be like, no, you can't take it back. It's like a soiled pair of pants.
Exactly.
You've put some you've put some skid marks on it. H&M ain't taking them back.
No, exactly.
Although to be fair, I now buy my pants from Next.
Do you?
Yeah.
Tell you the problem with that, because I buy Next pants as well.
Yeah.
But on the waistband it says Next, which I always think is almost like a bit embarrassing. It's like it's like you're showing it off. It's a bit like, do you remember Gap? I don't know if Gap is still a thing, but they used to have jumpers that the logo wouldn't be a little nice thing. It would just be Gap
massive,
across. And it's just like, you're not a cool brand. I wouldn't show it off that much.
I think they were cool for a little bit in the 90s.
Oh, they might have been, yeah.
Yeah. But I agree, Next on the pants ain't ideal.
No, it's no Calvin Klein.
They were like a cotton lycra hybrid. A little bit more money, a little bit pricier, but since I got them, I ain't looked back.
No, there's certain things you should invest in life. Electronic drum kits, pants.
Cymbals.
That's about it.
And gas central heating.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's crafts.
And that's Drum and Drummer.
Drum and Drummer. Follow us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. Email in to an email address that doesn't exist yet, drumandrummerpodcast@gmail.com. Go check out, eventually, it's not ready yet, is it? Drum Coach Online?
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
But it will be.
Drumcoachonline.com. And the Insta will be at drumcoachonline. It's there, but there's just nothing on it yet.
My recording studio, the Old Blacksmiths, oldblacksmiths.com. I've also got a website where I've got some of my drumming and stuff I've produced. benwhintie.com, BenWhyntie. We'll put links to all these, benwhintie.com. And you can go to here. But yeah, I'll put a link to Tidal Waves, track I drummed on. Any tracks you want to put that you were on?
I don't know. Is there any? Well, I'm trying to think if whatever's been. Yeah, Elliot Joseph. I'm trying to remember what's on the studio website that's of mine. It might just be that.
Possibly. But we can link to it.
That's even on there.
Elliot stuff's not on Spotify anymore, is it?
I don't think it is. No.
Forget that.
I'll think of something for next week that I can, music-wise, I can play for sure. But yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Let's go then. Yeah, huh? Bye. Cheers.
Bye.